Hello everybody, my name is Maria Shiweda for Ownership Africa. Ownership Studio, Ownership Africa. On this channel, we discuss and I present things concerning continent Africa. Not as in a continent that has many countries, but Africa as one, as a country. I don't want to be saying Namibia, Angola, Zambia, Nigeria, this country, Burundi, this or that. I'm talking about African citizenship, African army, so African currency, not BRICS, sorry. I'm talking of total exclusion of outsiders or the non-Africans, so that Africa can have a chance to put in place the framework. It might take 50 years, it's okay. In China they called it communism, in Russia they called it communism. It didn't take them 2 years or 10 years. It took them more than 50 years to be where they are now from the World War II, or that's more than 50 years actually. So Africa can do the same. There's no such a thing as take fast money. That thing is, I don't even know where it comes from. It comes from a church. It's a church mentality or something. I don't understand it myself. You develop a product by working it. Planning, meaning you are planning. Then implement that plan. And then test that plan. And then document your findings. Okay? You don't develop a product by being given the materials or the equipment that you need to use by somebody else. Once that process happens that way, the meaning is this: you lost ownership. Now you will need a card to swipe to enter that building. Now you need to sign a paper that says this person has the right to enter this area. This person has the right to mine in your own country. And this person has the right to tell the people in your own country not to even enter 50 miles into that area or towards that area. Okay? What does that mean? It means lost ownership. Our leaders, the African leaders, please hold off on any electoral activities. Please hold off on any electoral activities and do not sign. This is not the time to sign any paperwork with any country from the West. This is not the time. Africa needs to build its framework. It needs to put the framework into place. And that framework, we have the candidates for that framework to be put up. And those candidates are the young people. They are technologically savvy. They have the technology. They have the know-how. Now they need where they can implement that know-how. They need the platform. Africa has the platform. They have the biggest land, but they don't have the opportunities because ownership and rights are given to who? Foreigners. $10 million, $2 billion, even $500 billion, whether it's given in a loan, in a form of a loan, or it's given in a form of cash or in a form of skills, do not take it. Do not sign any paperwork at this time. Africa, African continents. Please share this. Please share this video to places. Like, share to everybody. It might reach somebody that can listen, that can hear this, that needs to hear this. Somebody who is connected to these leaders. Those leaders are too old. And the worst part of it is, like, they are educated by their very own enemies, and they don't know that they have just bought a paper to come home with while leaving their what? Or their will and determination back. Their spirit is back here in those institutions where they studied. That's where it's locked in. And they go home just with their bodies, skeletons. And they can't say no to anything. So that spirit is out. Queen Elizabeth is dead, okay? The black man's spirit is out of the cage. My name is Maria Shiweda. I'm the one who took it out. So I'm not telling you something that I heard of. I don't speak things I'm not part of. Unless my hands were there, you won't hear it from me. So, but this is the time for Africa. Africa 500 years start now. The Bible, everybody needs to dig a hole somewhere where they cannot reach. Put a cement on top of it and get to work. Work on the frame of Africa, the framework of Africa across all the industries. We have the know-how, but we just have to stop rushing at things of when we see money. Instead of getting the raw materials to make the dress and know how to make the dress, know how to make the raw material to get the dress, now you want to buy the dress because now you are looking at the cash. No, those times are gone. They will have to find, they'll have to repurpose those money printing machines. So citizenship for Africa, it doesn't have to wait 50 years. This is something that can be done now. We can start giving those to our defense. We unite Africa now, not tomorrow. When the decision does not fit the West, they make the rule now, not a week later, not an hour later, not a day later. The decision is now, is made now. So, so what am I emphasizing here? Hold off on every electoral activities across the continent. All leaders of all the nations of Africa, hold off to all electoral activities if there are any due at the moment. And we focus on something, on the real thing that needs to be done. You don't put solution on a paper. It doesn't work. Solution doesn't work on paper. And solution doesn't work on this media that I'm speaking on right now. I just have to use this because, hey, my name is just Maria Shiweda, okay? My father is not a president. My father died before I got here. So if he was here, I wouldn't be here. Instead, I would go through him to get all these things done, but I don't have that. Okay, so I have to go through social media. So if anyone out there who is watching, please, this is the message. Africa, time for Africa is now. You need the framework. That's all that is needed. And number two, it does not take 1 year or 2 years or 20 years. A good product, it might take 5 years. It's okay to go without that product for 5 years rather than going without it for the rest of your life because you just gave it away to another country. That I don't even understand it. I don't understand how a human being with a mind, okay, I come into your house, and I'll tell you, you need to step aside, go outside, this is my house now, or you need to give me this in your house. Oh, I like this table, it looks nice in my house, I need it, you need to give it to me now. And if you don't, there are consequences, and you sign the paper because you are scared. It doesn't make sense. Me speaking right here, 2015, that same thing, they tried to do it physically, spiritually to me, all right? But I was wise. I was wise because I was around people and I listened and I observed. So when everything started happening, because I didn't know my job was to do anything for Africa spiritually. I didn't know all this, that this was my war. I didn't know all this. But when I get to know, I have to work. And I didn't always know which step to take. But I just knew this one thing. The freedom for Africa, I can close every establishment in this whole world just for the freedom of Africa. I can tell you that right now. So hold off on any electoral activities across the continent. Africa, hold off. And the second thing, money that is cash, that is you eating hand to mouth. When it's finished, you need to go back and get another debt. Do you understand that? It means these people are not even giving you money or aid or whatever. It's not, because it's a debt. But who really owes who here? They come and force the resources out of Africa. They went, built their continents, and then turn around and say, Africa, we can loan you if you can give us more rights. Now we gave you independence, so now we really want to do it legally. Excuse me? Yeah. There is a word called stupid, and I don't want to be referred to as such, okay? So hold off on each and every electoral activities across Africa, please. And do not sign any paperwork with the West or anybody else. This is not time for signing anything. You don't sign Russia into Africa. You don't sign any country into Africa. Not any company, whether they already have scheduled all the meetings or signatures that are due by August or by BRICS or whatever. Hold off. Africa needs their own currency, African currency. We don't need to trade with the world. The world needs to trade with us. Just for what? To get our resources. That's it. Because we don't have ownership to our resources, they paint this fake picture that they are trading with you. They're not trading with you. The Namibia dollar is what? It's probably like $20 to $1 right now. And some currencies are worse. And then I get to hear another word about, what is it? Sanctions. You have been operating under sanctions for all those years. Don't think that you are free. You are not. My own country, Namibia, 2020, October 2020, that's the year they owned their own flag that they have been up and down. And guess what? There are many places I had to go to. There are many wars I had to fight. But I didn't know I was fighting for that flag. I knew there was something about Namibia, but I didn't know when I fought that day that they were to release that flag. All right? So all these fake independence, I'm just telling you, I love Robert Mugabe. I love Muammar Gaddafi. Those are my people. Okay? You cannot. You cannot. Magufuli? Yeah. Those are my people. Okay? Patrice Lumumba, those are my people. How are you going to tell me and make me understand somebody from Congo It used to be called Zaire. It's now called Congo. Okay? How are you going to make me understand, a person with my own mind, understand that Congo was under Belgium for that long? Okay? How are you going to make me understand so many people died, millions of people died in Congo because of Belgium? One person. People dying in the name of one person? Are you kidding me? Africans, do not worship the person who is in power. That's not how it's done. That's not the right way. You worship the system that is in power, the framework. And this is the time to build that framework right now. You worship somebody dies tomorrow, I die tomorrow. If I don't tell you what you need to do, how are you gonna come into the grave and ask, what were we supposed to do? No, you put that in place. So whoever we make as a leader, I don't care whether it's communism or we can come up with any African term or democracy, Africa, whatever that is, we nationalize our natural resources. That's it. Hold off on each and every electoral activities. We need to nationalize our resources, and that's it. And that's the only way we can have independence. There's no such a thing. One person is so rich, one person is so poor. But it's worse when that poor one cannot even get a job, a simple job. The simplest of the simplest, because nobody can set up a business because of the environment. It's not peaceful. So such things, again, the framework, African citizenship, African currency, and African defense. Those are the three or four things, a few things we need to put in place, but they are already in place in the spirit. I did this myself. So this is complete. The whole framework of Africa is now complete. Bottom, middle, and top. It's enclosed. So now it's time to start. It's time to get to work. Leave out any electoral or paperwork. Africa is becoming Africa as a country. Okay? If that name has some type of case on it, we throw it away. We can come up with any name that is made up from any African language that we can understand. Those are languages that we can understand. So we have everything in Africa. We don't need the world. We just need time. That's it. We need time. So in order for us to get time, we have to say no to the West. The West say no right and left here. You see what's happening in Russia? Ukraine said no and Russia decided to do what? Attack. Okay? They say you don't produce weapons, but who is producing weapons? It's the West. And just for your information, there's a company called ITER. ITER. This company, Africa is not represented in that company. They are building some type of, they're trying to figure out how to get something to produce more energy, electrical energy, electricity, okay? For chemicals, to build chemicals. For what? Weaponry, okay? This project has been going on since 1985. My country only got independence in 1990. Some countries, like South Africa, 1994, that's 4 years later, okay? Africa is not represented in that. United Nations, Africa is not represented in the United Nations, okay? Don't fool yourself. Kofi Annan was the Secretary General Africa was not represented and is still not represented. Okay, they have no say. Let me say the way it is. Africa has no say. Africa is regarded as nothing, doesn't exist, because Africa itself is the battlefield. The whole world is fighting for Africa, to have a peace in Africa. Okay, but we have the technological know-how. We need manufacturing industries. That's it. China did it. Russia did it. It took them 50 years or more, but they did it. So Africa can do it. We have the know-how. We have the will. Black people all over the world. In America, right here. Black people built this country, but they are nothing. It's worse. I have never seen hypocrisy in my life. If you want to see, come to the United States. Hypocrisy. And yeah, hold off any electoral activities, any signatures. Don't put signatures on a paper just because you see money, because the money that you are looking at, they like, okay, in Africa they have witch doctors, okay, but in here they have what I don't psychics. And the White House is operated spiritually. This is what I can tell you. I'm in the United States here. Jill Biden, the wife of the president, I didn't know she was in Namibia until I was home. I woke up to her. Then I was like, what the, okay? What the, okay? And then I had to listen now. Then I'm like, is this something that has happened, or is it something that is going to happen? Came to find out, she was there. She was just there. She was just there that day. I don't know if she had even left yet, but she just had apparently some meeting, entrepreneurship with the youngsters. Come on, all of a sudden, are you kidding me? I put Biden there to expose all these corruptions. Can you imagine Biden walked into the black church? Ebenezer is a chair, if you have ever heard of Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay? I had to go there and undo his doctrine, because his doctrine says what? Oh, we are sorry, non-violence and non-violence. That is what they took to the United Kingdom. So the black man's spirit was locked up there. This is the war I had to fight. I know I didn't explain a lot of things here, but I can't explain everything at one time. But this is the war I had to fight, and it didn't happen in 1 day or 2 days. Things take time, but strategies have to be in place. You have to plan. You have to know the end goal, the benefit, the long term. How long is it going to profit you? How long is it going to take before you make a profit? For me, as long as you tell me it's Africa, I was down for it. I was down to fight in the heat, in the cold, in the rain. Okay? Because what? I know what it means. I'm African. I rang in the independence of my country, so I know what the war is like and what the independence is like. So when they called me, the South African soldiers calling, looking for Maria, that's something that they planted in my head. There's not a day you can wake me out of my sleep. I'll remember that one. I will remember it very well. But that rang in the independence of my country. So it's not easy, but here I am. Things are manifesting. So, but I'm just happy. Everything else is done spiritually, because the bondage that was put under Africa it's a spiritual bondage. When you see all these presidents, all these leaders of the world coming, calling African leaders for meetings, Like you have witch doctors in Africa. Oh, just put do this and this and this. That's the same thing they do here. Here everything is like, I don't even understand. First, initially I didn't understand it until I got spiritual myself and started to see what's going on. Okay, so yeah, hold off on each and every electoral activities, and do not sign any paperwork with the West. Nothing. We need African citizenship. We need African currency. And it's now. It's not tomorrow. You don't have 2 weeks. You already have the machines that print the ID cards. So you just send the image to the countries and they print. That's it. Africa for blacks. Okay, go Africa, go Africa, go Africa. Thanks everybody. Please share this video. Somebody will hear the content and or highlight something from this video that you think it's necessary, or you know people will watch it. Just take it out of this video and highlight it, put it somewhere. Because the only thing I need is to get this message out, that it could reach some leaders. Because I was on YouTube and something popped up like, apparently Biden had African leaders all invited to meet him in the United States. Can you imagine that? Leaving your own country, your own house, to go to another man's house? I didn't understand. I saw it spiritually, but I thought it was coming. I didn't even worry about it, because during that time I was busy with the issue of the framework, the actual framework, laying down the framework of Africa. Because this was a bigger issue for me, and most of the stuff were like, they just didn't make a list of priorities for me in the spirit at all. But and I didn't pay attention to that one until it came up. Then I'm like, is it already done, or is it going to be done? Just to find out it was already done. Then I checked. There it was done. And what I was looking at, the complaints, I cannot believe the hypocrisy of the United States is over the top. It's their way or no way. So guess what? I have that undone, because I saw what happened there, what they went to do there. You know how I know? When Biden and Kamala got into office, I didn't watch the elections. But the day I watched the speech, actually I didn't even get to watch the whole speech. As soon as I watched the speech, like I started watching, I pulled the energy, because I knew what was happening because of the war that was going on coming up to the elections. So I wasn't so bothered to even watch the elections. But the energy I had to spend was too much. But the issue was, I was very angry, and I had to leave the house. From the East Coast to the West Coast, I had to drive, and I tell you, they tried to wipe me off on that road. That Kamala Biden thing, I'm aware I'm aware of a lot. So when you hear me saying I'm fighting, it's not an easy fight. You kind of have to be, it's not something you just decide, like you just decide to fight, or like you wake up today, I'm fighting this. No, it's not like that. It's something completely different. But yeah, hold off to any electoral activities, and do not sign any paperwork with the West. It doesn't matter what it says. They can say $230 trillion. Do not sign it. Do not sign it African citizenship now, and do not be worried about the war tantrums that is going on now. Russia is not your friend. China is not your friend. I'll tell you when it comes to China, if you watch my videos, Maria Shiweda, there's a video there on China. I don't know what I named it actually. Yeah, I'll just make a new video for you people on that one. It started from in Namibia, and then Russia. It also started in Namibia. So, but all this, I didn't really know what was going on then. But then 2015, 2016, 2017, I finally got to know what was going on, and everybody around me was seeing the same thing. So yeah, so I kept my mouth shut, just kind of became an observant of all these things. So they are not your friends, okay? All right, everybody, thank you for watching, and please share this video, or take out some content to just share the video, because I need this message to reach as many people as they can. The leaders, even if it just reach those 54 leaders of Africa, in Africa, I'm fine with that. I just need to reach somebody, for it to reach somebody who matters. Thank you everybody. My name is Maria Shiweda. This is Ownership Africa, Ownership Studios. Thank you.